Okay, well, hello everybody. Welcome to our last meeting. The idea for this meeting is for you to briefly present your final projects if you had the opportunity to complete the template I sent you a few days ago, and to get feedback from your colleagues and the tutors too. So if any of you want to start, you can start presenting, and I hope we have more than one project to present. So I ask you to raise your hand using the reaction button at the bottom of the Zoom screen. You have the reactions, and you have one that it's raise your hand. So if you raise your hand, you will be on the queue to present your projects. Okay. So
and we are going to let you as co-host to share the presentation.
okay. So who wants to start? Okay, Michelle.
Oh,
Um,
go first. Sorry, guys.
okay.
Thanks, Michelle.
Yeah.
I'm always keen to get things
Get it over with.
either way.
So you're co-host now, so you can share your
Can you
screen.
actually make Caroline co-host if that's okay? She's got the slides.
Okay.
If that's all right. You might just need a few moments to get into the mic, Caroline.
She's the
Thank you.
co-host now.
So Caroline, Cindy and I are going to be presenting. We won't lie, we haven't practiced presenting this, so please forgive us if we are a little bit awkward. We'll try and do our best to talk through, but yeah, thank you to Caroline and Cindy for being such a great group to work with. It's been really pleasant, and we've had some lovely discussions despite trying to line up our time zones. Okay. And Cindy's been very kind and sometimes gotten up really early in the morning, which is so nice.
I'm just trying to find, I have my screen open and I'm just trying to find the screen now to share.
Fine. That's fine.
Where is it?
It's always tricky when you're working on your home computer as well, isn't it?
No, I have my laptop, my work laptop. I've got it's very strange. I've got the Google Doc open and now I just have to figure out why it's not sharing. Okay, let's try again. Share screen. Where is it?
If it's not working, or you prefer us to present it, and if it's a Google Drive document, maybe you can share the link on the chat and I can open it and share it. Whatever you prefer.
I'm just not sure why it's not coming up. I was just closing everything else down. Sorry. Oh, I found it. Here it is. I had too much stuff open. Okay. Can you see that?
Yeah. Perfect.
Yes, perfect.
Good. I was like, it's open. Where is it?
Can you pop it into presenter view? Will it go into presenter view on Google Drive? I don't know. It doesn't matter if not.
Now you're asking.
No, that's okay. Don't worry about it.
Click on the slideshow. See on the upper right? Click on slideshow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yay. Here we go.
Beautiful.
All right.
Who wants to start? Do you want me to go, Caroline? And
you can start.
Okay, so thank you very much. So Cindy, Caroline and I have been talking about a project that we have based at the Catholic University in Australia. Cindy very graciously came and joined us for this project, which has been really good because having three very different perspectives to ask questions was really useful because we all come from very different backgrounds. So I'm a speech pathologist from background. I teach into the speech pathology bachelor program. And Caroline, do you want to introduce your role at the university?
Yeah, so I'm a community engagement officer. At ACU, my role is to work with community partners and find community engagement placements. So it's not quite service learning, it's more on the volunteering end of it, but yeah, so that's my role. We have nearly all of our students at ACU do some form of community engagement as part of their degree. So my role is to help those students find placements in a nutshell.
And Cindy, do you want to introduce your role at your university?
Sure. I work with Catholic Distance University, which is a small college. It's totally distance-based, meaning we only do like virtual learning. And I am the director of continuing education for non-credit courses. I also teach a course in religious education, and I'm an academic advisor. And we currently do not have any service learning. So this was truly a learning experience for me. So I'm very grateful for Michelle and Caroline's patience as we work through this project.
It's been a delight. So we looked at a project that we're really, really hoping that we can get up and running, and we've had initial discussions. It was actually Caroline's good work that led to some of this, but also a lot of work that we've been doing in the speech pathology program. So we've been looking at how we run our community engagement in speech pathology and what that looks like, and trying to integrate it much more with our speech pathology curriculum, because it has sat a little bit distant from the curriculum up until now. So this was a real opportunity to think about something that we might actually be able to implement in the future as we're making changes to the curriculum. And Caroline and her team have been really involved in those discussions, so it was really timely. Do you want to go to the next slide, Caroline? Thank you. So I might talk a little bit, actually, Cindy, would you like to do the community need part that we've been talking about, if you feel okay with that?
Okay, please jump in if you think I'm missing something or misrepresent it. So the community need there's a part of Sydney that has an at-risk school, a very low, includes a lot of Indigenous, First Nations community, as well as communities from the locals. I forget Pacific Island, some Pacific Islands. So these communities are at risk and disadvantaged. Very low literacy rate among the adults, and so the children have also these issues. And so there is a group that is already doing Story Factory that is doing some literacy-based work in the community. And the thought was to combine the trained university students or students who are learning with the Story Factory to expand those services and develop some literacy-based education oriented activities. So the service would be for the university students, and the solidarity would be with the community. And there's also a strong connection between speech pathology and literacy. And so that connection, the students are going to explore that a little bit more and develop activities to strengthen the community. And so that is the primary community need that they're addressing.
Thanks, Cindy. Caroline, did you want to expand a little bit on some of the work that led to this need?
Yeah, so Story Factory is an organisation that I work with, and they are a creative writing workshop, or they run creative writing workshops in disadvantaged primary schools across Western Sydney. And we have a lot of students going there every semester helping with these workshops. So it's a natural project or an organisation that's already doing work with us. And they approached us a few months ago. Their speech pathologist that works there thought that maybe our students, there's a particular school, Wilmot Public School, it's got very, very, very low literacy levels, probably one of the most disadvantaged schools in Sydney, and was a school they were already working with, so that identified opportunities for our students to help. So that's what's happening in the real world. So we thought this was a fantastic opportunity to develop that idea further for this project. So I apologize. I've just noticed I've added a bit of extra information into the learning objectives, which I think Michelle's going to cover. And of course, it looks okay when you look at the screen, but now the formatting's gone out. But I'll let you cover that bit, Michelle.
Yep, that's okay. So, so what we thought for this hypothetical project, and what we would like to really do if we ever got this up and running, is to actually have speech pathology students and education students, because we also have teaching degrees at our university. So actually have them both disciplines working together on this project, because it's a really beautiful fit of discipline knowledge from speech pathology and education to come together to work on this kind of work. And I think the students would really enjoy that, and then they'd have a really nice interprofessional experience as well. So we really want the students to obviously be able to use some of their discipline-specific knowledge to work with this community, and we think that they'll be able to bring lots of really good information into the community to share with them. But also it's going to really help our students understand the impact of social disadvantage. A lot of our students do come from quite not high class backgrounds, but certainly privileged backgrounds. Most of them are fairly middle class students. And so many students haven't actually had much understanding of working with a disadvantaged population and supporting people in different ways. So from that perspective, it would be really wonderful for the students to be able to learn a little bit more about things that perhaps they're not as familiar with, and to learn an appreciation for working with people from all different types of backgrounds, and whether that's cultural backgrounds or lots of different backgrounds. The other thing that we really want our students to get out of this experience is an appreciation of working with a community, not over the top of a community, and also some basic skills around understanding data to inform their reasoning when they're trying to perhaps in the future go and apply for funding to support these kinds of programs, if that's something that they end up doing in their workplace. Teach them how to connect their understanding of the evidence around some of the things that they might be doing with working in community, and project planning and management as well, because that's a really useful skill for these students to go out into their workplace with in the future. So we do think that it'll be a very authentic experience, because it will be interprofessional with teaching and speech pathology. And then we do think that it will be hopefully very beneficial for the students at the school and the teachers at the school to work alongside our students and hopefully be able to work together to do things that are meaningful for that community. And to increase our connections, because our university does have a mission to work with communities. So that's a really important part of their degrees overall. Do you want to flip to the next slide, Caroline? Thank you. Hopefully I've covered everything. Don't want to take up too much time. Just tell us to move along if you need us to.
Sorry. Oh, there we go. So
we could talk all day on this. All right, so does someone else want to speak?
We got a bit stuck on the areas, chairs, curricular spaces, so we haven't added much in there.
No, we did get a little bit stuck, but it's a little bit of what we've just discussed, and I think we've started to talk about this already, but it is very much about trying to make those connections between some of the discipline content and what the community are actually needing, and obviously that would be a process in itself. So when we come to the solidarity action activities, we're really hopeful that the students will be working with Story Factory, the not-for-profit, and the local community to work out what is actually needed in that space. So it's not just the university students coming in and giving activities out or saying that this is what they're going to do, that it's actually negotiated a little bit with the community. And the idea is that they will use their discipline knowledge to be able to work together to come up with some really nice, simple activities that can be run in the community, not necessarily by speech pathologists or teachers, but in the classroom, maybe with the support of some of our junior students who haven't got as much clinical experience as well. So they could actually come in and do their clinical engagement later in some of these activities. Because we might not have the capacity for these specific students to carry the program through long term. So what we've been trying to think about is how do we set it up so that it does have that longevity and that sustainability? And we think that if we set it up in a way that some of the junior students could come in, that could be really good. So that's something we've just been toying with in the last few meetings. Yes.
Michelle, sorry, you have 3 more minutes.
Okay, cool. Okay, we'll go really quick. All right, so there's some examples down there of early literature games that we think the students might generate. We don't know what they'll generate. They'll generate something wonderful because students always come up with really good ideas. But our role in this would be to establish the relationship between the students and Story Factory and the schools and get them to come together and set that experience up so that they could then work with community and Story Factory to come up with some really great ideas that could be done in the school space with these students. And we've started to list down some ideas for reflection and evaluation as well. Some of those are around collecting data on the literacy outcomes for the children long term, but some of them are around the student experience and reflection and how we would actually look at the students' own learning, so the university students' learning through that process as well. Caroline or Cindy, do you want to add anything in there?
I think an important part at the beginning that probably isn't mentioned here, but is in our project plan, is the consultation with the community, which we thought, yes, we'll have Story Factory helping and the school facilitate, but we really wanted to bring the families in, or at least, some of the parents in as well, to have that real community consultation.
And I think for long-term sustainability, we also talked about engaging the parents and helping them work on literacy skills in the home as well, to not just sustainability of the project, but for ongoing development of the, of the children.
Yeah. Can we go to the last slide? That's okay. So we've probably already talked about most of these, but I'm very conscious of time. So these are our people who would be involved. And obviously this is just the kind of starting list. So we've listed down the main ones. So we've got our university staff and students, specifically our speech pathology and education students. And then we've got some of our main players like Story Factory, the school. And Caroline, did you want to talk about some of the others on the list briefly?
Yeah, just briefly. So Wilmot Public School actually means a primary school or an elementary school, depending on where you're coming from. We call them public schools. So early years, so kindergarten up to age 12 that we'd be focusing on. And yes, the key protagonists, I suppose, as part of this project would be some of the staff within the school, possibly Western Sydney Local Health District, who actually have a clinic locally. We thought that would be great to connect with them. They do have speech therapists. The Hive, which is an organisation that really focuses on early years learning within the community, bringing together a number of different organisations. And then the Families and Learning Grant is another organisation that works in the community, helping students who are on the verge of disengaging completely from school, and they've got a number of programs. So we really see this as a very collaborative grassroots community-based project, which really gives ACU the opportunity to go directly into the community and bring different organisations together.
Yep, I think that's pretty much.
Have we run out of time?
Yes, I think we're at time. Yeah, so thank you very much. And yes, I know it's a brief overview. If anyone has any questions, we're happy to answer them. Thank you.
Okay, so now we open the questions section. So if anybody has any question, you can do it.
No questions.
No questions?
You are
Any-
so
Oh,
clear.
someone does.
No, two participants raise hand. Jose and Nico. Jose.
All right. Thank you very much, Miss Michelle and group mates for the presentation. It was actually enlightening that, in some parts of the world, we have this kind of setup for our education systems. And of course, we're capable of providing them services in terms of, community service that is not often extended by, of course, our local government or the national government for that matter, or even, of course, the private organizations. My only question is for the group, do we have any form of assessment that we can extend just to, somehow gauge the degree of success that we were able to employ for our project? So if you do, I would really appreciate you sharing it to us as well. Thank you.
I actually added in very briefly that we want the students to design. Okay, we might have some more formal measures, but we actually want the students to design some of the evaluation themselves as part of this project, and that could be surveys or feedback. But then I think there'd also be some more formal evaluation as well.
Yeah, there'd
Don't know if
definitely be for something like this where we're looking at trying to improve literacy outcomes. There are some standard measures that the Australian government, they love collecting data. So they actually test children at various points during their schooling careers. So we have some tests that are done all across Australia. Every child in Australia has to do them. They're mandated. So we do have some data at that level, that big level that shows literacy, but also schools tend to collect their own literacy data within school. So if we were looking at that kind of just the literacy improvements and changes, there'd certainly be some data there that we could look at. But yes, as Caroline said, we were really keen to get the students to think about evaluation of the project because they're going to be doing quite specific activities. They're not going to be doing everything at once. They're probably going to have to focus in quite tightly on whatever it is that they're trying to do. So I'm very happy to talk to you about what we're planning, but we're probably not at the point that we've got really definitive plans. We won't lie. Still planning.
All right. Thank you very much.
Someone else want to say
Yes.
something?
Hello.
Okay, Nico.
And can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
My question is somehow connected with the SES question, only about the evaluation part. I'm also thinking of how often would you have the evaluation, or is it really necessary for the students to do the evaluation, or not really of the project, I mean, of the whole program or project. Is it really for the students to evaluate the impact of that, or the faculty or the staff to have the evaluation of that? Because Andrew Forku said students come and go, but the sustainability of the project is really the role of the faculty. Of course, the evaluation tools can be done by the students, but we don't know if the students are still in there when the time comes that it is necessary for you to know the impact. So I also want to know when are you planning to do evaluations? Is it really yearly or every end of the term? So that's my question. Thank you.
Yeah, I think whilst the students would probably be designing some of the tools, there definitely would need to be, as Michelle said, that much more formal evaluation. And I think obviously things don't necessarily improve overnight. So whilst the students, or they'd want to be evaluation of the actual project in terms of the children in the school and their learnings and the impacts of the projects, I guess that is going to take some more time to show. So I think there needs to be a few different measures around evaluation. That's something, again, that would be discussed in the project planning, and we need the school involved with that obviously as well.
Yeah, because it's almost like long-term versus short-term goals, isn't it? What are you going to measure in the short term versus that longer term? But also I think we probably need to talk to the community about what is it that they're wanting, because ultimately what they set as their goal for the community is what we're going to need to be evaluating as the outcome of the project in some ways like that. If they want a certain thing, then that's probably what we're going to be working towards. So we need to find a way of measuring that kind of success. So there's probably going to be multiple measures, I'd say, more short term, but also those slightly longer term. And we are thinking about that sustainability because that's a real consideration. Yeah. Thank you. The good questions.
Yeah, George wants to say something about that.
Yes, thank you. If we think evaluation as a cross-cutting processes, we see that there is a lot of things to evaluate during the life of the project, and the students can always participate on the different stages. If this project lasts for example, more than 1 year, the student won't be doing the same in all the stages during all the life of the project. So if this project remains in action for more than 1 year, for example, or more than 1 semester, students will be doing new things every time and evaluating, doing the evaluation of these different things, these different stages of the life of the project. So you maybe have a coordination team that can evaluate other things, but with the participation of the students. We always propose students to participate on this because it's really important for them, and it's really nourishing, and they learn a lot when they have to design evaluation tools, when they have to think the criteria, when they have to talk with the community and agree in different terms on how are they going to evaluate the project. So it's really important that the students can participate actively on the evaluation of the different stages, and you start evaluating at the beginning of the project, and you keep doing it during the whole life of the project. So it's important to involve students on that process, and maybe you can do a long-term evaluation, and the students that will participate on that evaluation, maybe they are not the same students that start the project 1 year, 2 years ago, but they are participating on the project actively, so they have to be part of the evaluation. That I don't know if I was clear with what I was trying to say, but it was regarding the question of Niku about who is going to lead the evaluation. And I think that students can be part of that in the different stages of the project.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, well, ideally, we'd like this to be an ongoing project. And like you said, there'd be different phases of the project. And if it continued next year and the following year, they'd be evaluating different things and probably coming up with new ideas as well as part of the project. So we definitely want students to be involved in that process.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Maybe the project.
We're hoping for long term. We're hoping.
Yes, after all this,
we're
hopefully.
hoping for long term. So,
Yes,
and I think
sorry,
yeah.
Michelle, but as Karen said, the project can change. Maybe you start doing some things, and 1 year later, 2 years later, the things you will be doing, the partners you will have, the participants won't be the same. So you maybe can introduce new activities, new aspects to work with. Maybe this is the first step you're giving on this project, starting with speech pathology, but then you discover another fields of work or another things you could be doing with that community. And that's because, as we always propose, we are working with the community. So other needs will appear on the time, during the time you're developing the project.
Yeah, that would be fantastic if it, matures and keeps going, and then you have different groups of students going through it, and it continually grows.
Okay, so I don't know if there is any other question, but if not, we could
And stop sharing. And okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for you, a very huge project.
Thank you very
Okay, there
much.
is
So,
another who wants to
Nico,
share some ideas.
Nico is
Nico.
raising his hand.
I would like to go next. I would like to go next.
Okay,
Okay.
just I don't know if we have how many groups we have, but if you could take 10 minutes maximum to present the project so we all can share and listen to the others. It's that okay? What do you think, Alejandra? 10 minutes?
No, it's perfect because at last we want to share you a rubrica we are going to use for the evaluation of the project. So we want to show you how we are going to evaluate them. Okay.
Okay.
Who's going to share?
Nico.
Oh, wait for a while. Okay, I'll stop.
Okay, so Nico, now you are
First.
co-host,
Okay.
so you can
Let
share
me
your
share.
screen.
Okay. Okay. Good day, everyone. I am Niku from De La Salle University, Manila, Philippines. Together with me, but not with me in this project. Not with me today in this project is one of our faculty in the College of Business, Professor Angelic Blanco. So our name, the name of our project, from a very big project that Michelle and her team had, we conceptualized a very small project because in our university we always divide things in three. No, we have a program, then under a program we have different projects in that program. So under a service learning program, they have a course COB CSRG, which is under the College of Business, and then they have service learning in that, and their service learning they call livelihood programs. No, and in the livelihood programs they have different projects, and this is just one project in that program. Okay, so and then you have different service learning activity in that project. So this is the name of the project in the livelihood program. This is a specific project in that program, which is a sticker mania amazing, sticker mania amazing, doing sustainable sticker business for student scholars of poor communities in Manila City. Okay. So the community need that we have is specifically on the city of Manila. The sector is the youth, no, the young adults in Manila in the poor communities. They lack livelihood opportunities, and therefore they cannot fund their school supplies and school allowances. Okay, so the learning objectives in this need is the COB, means College of Business. Okay, College of Business students will be developing writing skills through module and manual making. And then later on you will know because of the service. COB students will learn to also understand proper production practices that applies to sticker business. Then students may be able to explore sustainable online marketing strategies that is trending. Then service objectives, of course, is to run training programs on sticker designing and production, and to also formulate business manual together with the youth leaders on how to run a sticker business in online platforms. Okay. And then the areas chairs or curricular spaces would be business courses or the College of Business. So the curricular contents, the course aims to enhance the ability of students to diagnose the root cause, and hopefully the students will really see the lack of livelihood in the areas. That's why the solidarity action activities will be service learning trips, collaborative project with NGO, private companies, because they will need to have collaborations with the NGOs that could bring them to these communities as well, and to private companies. Why? Because of the resource mobilization, which is also also the fourth solidarity activity. And then three, community services. Their community service will be trainings and making of business manuals. So reflections and recording, we have a service learning activity report. I will show you format later on of that, and then service learning reflection papers. I will also show you the reflection format. We have a prompt for that, and the service learning evaluation from the faculty, community partners, and students. I think this would be done by our office. The format for this is to be done by our office, because our university have our own service learning office. We could formulate it with the faculty, with the professor. And then of course, if there comes a time, maybe 2 years after this, now there will be an impact study. No, which is we always do in our university. If we want to have an impact study, it is a third party. We always hire someone which is outside for us to be very objective for in that study. Okay. And then the participants would be the College of Business faculty, of course, the educator. DMO means the Department of Management and Organization, because they are the ones handling the course, the COBC SRG. They are the ones teaching that course. We tag this project in a certain subject. Okay. Then one section in the College of Business could do this, the sticker mania, amazing. And then the NGOs, of course, the university is part of it, the LSU. Some printing companies that could provide support to the community. Of course, they would start a sticker business, so the printing companies could provide a startup for them. Then the Pearl S back organization, we identified Pearl S back organization because this organization had some partner communities in Manila City, which is catering for the youth sector. And then the beneficiaries of the project will be children of underprivileged families that are school scholars in need of school supplies and allowances. So that's my short presentation. Again, I'll show you the some things. I'll show you some things. The evaluation, not really the evaluation tools, but uh, this is the prompts that we have in our reflection. We have their C experience, analysis, reflection, and of course, we always incorporate the Lasallian values if they learn the Lasallian values, and then we try to ask questions, the academic enhancement, their personal growth, and this is the service learning activity report. This is the format that we give to the students so that they could properly document well their service learning activity. Okay, the profile of participants, highlights of the activity, issues and concerns, and the photos and captions, and even the sustainable development goals. As you can see in the highlights of the activity, also highlight the sustainable development goal achieved by the project, because in our university we always want it to be tagged in the sustainable development goal. Okay, that's all on my part. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Niku. It's an interesting project, and I think the tools you have developed for the systematization and the recording of the project are really great, because we always emphasize the importance of recording, of systematizing all the work you're doing. And I think these two tools you have shared, even if we didn't have the time to see them in deep, I guess they are great tools.
Cindy has a question.
Cindy.
So my question is very simple. I guess I don't understand what the stickers are. Are these kind of like laptop stickers? Or are they stickers for children? Or and
It could it I actually, it's up to the creativity of the youth and what type of sticker they would like. That's why it's sticker mania amazing. Any product that stickers could could stick could stick on, they could make it. I mean, they could make laptop stickers for children. We want them to explore all on all of those things as long as they can. um and that's why me Angelique actually proposed it to me, because she said to me, again, she's a business professor, so she knows that sticker business is not a big business, but it has great profit. You don't need much money on it, and you don't need much skill on it. That's why youth could the children could also go in this kind of businesses without having learned much. They just have to know accounting, logistics, and that is what the College of Business need to do. Because when we went to Pearl SBAC, this is the backstory. When we went to Pearl SBAC, actually the students there know how to do Photoshop. No, know how to do Photoshop. So they have great creative minds. They could do designs, but we are thinking that it will be a waste if they have that skill, but they can put it into a profitable thing. So we would like to do that. Thank you for that,
So,
Cindy.
well, and then
Yeah.
the second part of my question
Yes.
is there, do you have like a graphic arts field that you could tap into those students at your university as well also, or marketing, you know, those a program that is involved in designing promotional materials, things like that? Would that be something, another perhaps you know, stakeholder you could consider?
Actually, in the College of Business, they have the marketing course as well, but they don't have the arts design. But we could also tap that in the College of Liberal Arts, the multimedia design and arts. That's a good thing. No, I would add that in our in our project. Thank you very much for that, Cindy. I'll add that if we could tap those students as well. Thank you.
Great project, great idea, and a good combination. Okay, there is someone else who is going to ask something, or we are going to pass to the next who is going to show the project. Jose,
Before,
I don't know if
before
Jose
we-
is going.
yes,
You
before we
want to
go
say
the next,
something, George?
yes, before we go to the next
Oh,
presenters,
none. It's
I
okay with me, ma'am. I'm sorry.
I think it's interesting how to think about the business model with children, because if these are the students of the business school and they are studying businesses, when you are working with children, what can you do with them? How can you work on the design or the plan of a business model with children? I think that's interesting because children can easily maybe design the stickers, but think about the whole businesses of selling those stickers to get some money to buy the supplies they need and allowances. It's a big challenge. And who else could be participating on this project to work with these children? Maybe some local businesses, or where are they going to sell them, the stickers? So I think you can keep thinking about the partners in this project who can help you on that on that work of selling the stickers and thinking about a business model. That's all. Thank you. So Jose, now you can talk.
All right. I also would like to add as a comment that here in the Philippines, it's somehow really very important that young ones are oriented with business, because it's one way by which our country can probably alleviate poverty, which is one of the 17 SDGs that we're trying to accomplish here by 2030. And the project is one of those that we would like to essentially not only promote, but to support, because we just all know that this is contributory to that impact, to that result. Thank you very much, Mr. Nico.
Great. Thank you, Jose. And who wants to continue presenting your project? Remember that you have 10 minutes maximum. Okay. Jose and Marta, did you raise your hands?
Oh, I forgot to lower my hand. Miss Marta can probably go first. Then we'll go next after Miss Marta.
Okay, great. So Marta
Thank
and
you very
then
much.
Jose.
Thank you very much. Today, I suppose I am alone, but I work with Milena and Monica from our university, and I try to. Okay. Can you see it?
Yes, we can.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. So we did our project in according to the pattern you sent us on Google Disk. So step by step and and briefly. So this is project. This project is from me, Milena and Monica. We are from the one university, Catholic University in Lublin in Poland. And we have some title of our project, promoting a healthy lifestyle, prevention of chronic diseases through undertaking physical activity of disabled people. So the group we want to work with, it is disabled people. Mainly we want adults 18 plus, because if we would take children, we would have another stakeholders, they parents. So we mainly want one group, adult disabled people. Here we have institutional actors, so many students, of course, this volunteering, teachers from the university, and some stakeholders. I will show you in the next step. Here we have some main goal of the project. Of course, it is very easy to help people with disabilities, and this problem. People with disabilities have some problems, and we want to increasing issue of chronic diseases with special emphasis of obesity among the disabled, low or lack of motivation to meet other people. So we want to increase their social status, low or lack of availability of places for physical activity for the disabled. Low number of assistants for the disabled. Probably our students could be assistants for the disabled after this project. High cost of equipment for sports, impairment of small and large motor skills among the disabled, and development of chronic diseases in the disabled due to, among others, a lack of physical activity and ignorance of healthy lifestyle habits. So just increasing the quality of their life, including healthy lifestyle habits. Here we have some objectives, and of course activation disabled people's popularization of knowledge about healthy habits. And it's quite easy: no smoking, good diet, taking care of mental and physical health. Firstly, our teachers, university teachers, would have some workshops for students, and then students will be popularizing of knowledge about healthy habits in disabled people. Next is integration of people with disabilities, prevention of chronic diseases, improvement their physical and mental health, including reduction of obesity, some increasing coordination, mobility, improving well-being, and social contacts, more social contacts from disabled people. And it was objective of solidarity practice. Next, we have some learning objectives. Of course, expanding knowledge of disabilities, kinds of disabilities. It could be good to know about some kind of disabilities in our students, of course, in teachers, and then some workshops from students to disabled people. Psychosocial problems of disabled people and daily challenges, medical problems, skill development, and learning about healthy life. As I said, no smoking, good diet, social contacts, and the role of engaging in physical activity on the functioning of the body. Here in point 6, we have some partner stakeholders. So main stakeholders, it will be university. It could be our university, but I think our project can be for all the university who would like to try this project. In the area of university, we have teachers and students. Then we have some public health agencies, so some healthcare professionals, some guidelines from public health agencies, and then we have community partners and non-profits in Polish names, but they are all working with disabled people. And then we have some workshops, sports events, and inclusive physical activity competition. Of course, disabled students, but not only the students, and some participants from the other group. Then we have 7.7. So get general outline of the activities of each stage. And just to talk shortly, motivation. This project is important for us because of the links between our scientific disciplines, medical and health sciences, and social sciences, because we work in this area, medical, health, and social sciences. It allows the development of theoretical knowledge and practical skills of the students, because students after workshops will be working with disabled people. And what's more to say shortly, activities for the university will be aimed at involving students in working for the benefit of others. Moreover, the activities will promote the university. Then we have some diagnosis from each of stakeholders, from public health agencies. So, as I said, healthcare professionals, some guidelines, some educators in healthcare. And then we have students, teachers, university. So here we have educating people with disabilities about the importance of physical activity in disease prevention, not only physical, but also a mental activity. And then some community organizations and non-profits. And here we have some events, marathons, fitness classes, and some other good physical activity for people with disabilities.
Sorry, Marta, you have 2 more minutes.
Okay. So to validate the results of our project, in each points we have epidemiological data, scientific research, health organization and guidelines, monitoring and evaluating. So we need to collecting data like questionnaires or some other forms to see physical activity levels. Okay, so maybe some other activities. Public health agencies provide funding and guidelines. Teachers and students can organize seminars, workshops, and others. And community organizations and non-profits can take the lead in organizing sports events for disabled and just for students. And to closure to see the results, as I said, surveys and questionnaires to get a feedback, health assessment, really simple health assessment like coordination, mobility, well-being, and BMI to see the results of our project, and of course conversation. It is also a good solution to see feedback. And some what's more, ongoing evaluation. I said about evaluation, and maybe the last words is extremely important for the university, for our university, for each university and the community, because of society's increasing problems with mental and physical disorders. I think I said the main points of our project, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Marta. And if any other have a question or comment? If you have a question or a comment, just open your microphone and do it.
Jose.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Miss Marta, thank you also for the presentation. I would just like to briefly ask,
Thank you.
just to say, how long will the implementation be? I mean, based from the way you have planned the project. So how long will it take for the student?
How long our project? Okay, we suppose that this project is for, and I think it could be a good time, 3 months, to see the results. The results of our workshops for students and for disabled. And I think that 3 months, about free workshops, physical activities per week, it will be a good time to see good results for disabled people, and for also for students, just to help some other people.
All right. Thank you very much, Miss Marta. I'm sorry,
Thank
but
you.
the only reason why I've asked the period of time is because I would also like to gauge the practicality. Should, for example, we would like to also do something similar to it here in the Philippines. No? And thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Someone else want to ask, or we are moving to the next project? Who is going to present now? Jose.
That's right now. All right. So, good evening, everyone. And before I even start, I would like to extend my appreciation to our two tutors, Miss Alejandra, if you don't mind calling me by your first name, and also, of course, from Senor Jorge. Right. Thank you very much also for the support that you provided all your students, and also for my colleagues here in this online program. Before I even forget, extending my appreciation to our two wonderful teachers. Our presentation for tonight, at our end, the evening, it will be delivered by both me, Jose, and my partner, Miss Vanessa. So she'll be going through our presentation, and just like with Miss Marta, we'll be using the usual template that we have been provided with. Very impressive for our first two groups. So we'll start by sharing the presentation first, so that we can keep with the 10 minutes allotted time. And so Miss Vanessa will go through our present. There you go. And let's start with, of course, the title. The title of our intended project, happens to be Draining Flood with the Empowered Young Hands, or with Empowered Young Hands. this particular project has something to do with partnering with a local community, with our students in Benilde, which happens to be the institution that we work with together, me and I myself and Miss Vanessa. So with a local community that happens to be always affected by damaging floods every typhoon season here in the Philippines. Believe it or not, here in the Philippines, just as our early ancestors were met by our Spaniards colonizers, we were eventually met, of course, from history that our country is always visited by typhoons. However, this set of typhoons had increased drastically during the previous years or decades because of global climate change, and hence the impact of disastrous or damaging floods. Hence, the project that we're proposing at the moment has something to do with providing our local community with an information system that can eventually help them be reminded of what to do before, during, and after a damaging flood from a typhoon, whether this is a strong one or a super typhoon. So the impact of the project supposedly to our students who are taking up science, technology, and the society, which is a subject that is supposed to be taken by first-year college students. The impact should be understanding, of course, and understanding how technology can improve the lives of Filipinos, or how technology can also be utilized in order to improve the lifestyle of Filipinos and make them, of course, non-susceptible, or what was the word again? I forgot. I'm getting nervous. Resilient. All right. Sorry for that. The key word is resilient, to make our communities resilient to floods. So the educational contexts are as follows. And so our educational context happens to be as follows. This project is anchored over the subject science, technology, and the society, which is a course that happens to be offered not only in at De La Salle College of St. Benil, but also among other colleges, but happens to be the subject that is anchored with for the service or solidarity service learning. Since we have been involved or engaged with service learning, this is our first time to be engaged with planning out projects that is referred to as solidarity service learning. I know the difference is not really that big, right? It's almost the same. However, I myself personally find it very very interesting to study well the details that is involved with solidarity service learning project, and would eventually like to try it out as well. So with this subject, we have three topics by which we can engage our students through this SSL project. The first week happens to be, the first topic wherein our SSL project will be anchored with happens to be the information technology and artificial intelligence major topic, which is delivered every week 4. And then a second topic by which we will engage students in our SSL project is the role of science and technology in national development, which happens to be delivered during weeks 8 and 9. And last one, the major topic, the good life, when humanity and technology cross, during week 11. So without elaborating on the details, so this happens to be the 3 major topics to which the SSL activity will be engaged with or will be anchored to. Next, please. Thank you, Ms. Vanessa. So these are the curricular spaces, the curricular contents by which the SSL project will be anchored to specifically with the following learning activities. So for the students, the first engagement involves the study of to study the nature of solidarity service learning across references in the web, the construction of a working definition for solidarity service learning, and of course, the determining practical applications on the lesson. Digital technology is an effective tool in empowering local youths to become more civic involved to local barangay social issues, such as helping the barangay community develop resilience to disastrous floods caused by typhoons every year. And within week 4, information technology and artificial intelligence, another set of activities for the students happens to be cross-referencing and the analysis of a provided data prior to a meeting, and then followed by confirmation and gathering of information, study of protocols provided by the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management. And the last set would be collaboration to develop a digital protocol application, designing a printed material, demonstrating inclusion in design, organizing a seminar workshop, and personal reflection on the activity. So just to highlight the importance of what we have here on our table and not necessarily going over the details of the rest following these topics, this is simply to highlight to everyone that our project is more focused on what our students are supposed to learn as they engage themselves over the SSL project that we would like to implement. Ms. Vanessa, thank you. So let's proceed, Ms. Vanessa, with the next one. Thank you. And so who are the institutional actors for this particular SSL project? So we have our teachers who basically, as suggested by our tutor as well to us, which we have improved on this part, our teachers should be more knowledgeable about the nature of service learning before even implementing it, which we have emphasized also here in our proposed SSL project. And true to itself, we do have the service learning orientation that are provided to teachers. Ms. Vanessa would probably like to elaborate on this, since Ms. Vanessa happens to be our director in our institution, who happens to be involved with the Faculty Center for Faculty Advancement. And under this particular center is the Unit for Service Learning. Right, Ms. Vanessa?
Yes, so we do have orientation with the faculty, with students, and also with the partner community. So we do that before the term starts, to set expectations, timelines, addressing the needs, initial findings. So we gather all the students and we gather first all the students in one area or one Zoom, and then we gather all service learning teachers in one schedule as well, and all the partners in the schedule, and talk to them, discuss with them what service learning is all about.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Vanessa. Another set of characters that we have for our for this particular group happens to be our students. This will involve students that belong to a class that happens to be a mixed group of second-year college students who are enrolled in the School of Arts and Design. So they happen to be enrolled in SciTech, and during this particular time, they would be engaged to this community that would be provided for us by the Service Learning Unit, which Ms. Vanessa had already elaborated for us. And of course, the next set of participants would be the Service Learning Unit of DLS, CSB, which had been explained to us already by Ms. Vanessa. And lastly, the Computer Link Organization, which happens to be a student organization in our school that happens to be engaged in various academic and civic activities related in digital tools and software development. Right, so the community issue involved in our service learning activity happens to be the city of Manila, wherein we have 16 highly urbanized cities that make up Metro Manila. So the city of Manila happens to be one of 16 highly urbanized cities within Metro Manila. Since Metro Manila lies at the septum between Laguna de Bay and Manila Bay, you would notice here, right, from Manila de Bay and of course Laguna de Bay, the entire city happens to be the septum of these two bodies of water. So it is no wonder that during typhoon seasons, eventually you have a lot of municipalities that would be somehow affected by floods. And the local community that we have that we will be engaged with happens to be also, of course, communities that are affected by these disastrous or damaging floods. So what kind of damages are inflicted over the communities? Well, most often this would involve not necessarily loss of lives, but loss of properties. And you also have the spread of different diseases. And you also have, of course, the, I don't know, the interruption of education for, I don't know, for our young ones. And of course, the impact it has over livelihoods within the community itself. So as you can see from the images that we have here, this happens to be the community that will be engaged with, the one with the red line, right? And if we move a little bit there, this is the actual image of the community where it has a river, and the river itself, or stream, sorry, stream, which most of the time during, I don't know, during typhoon season would be over flooded. So our intent for our service learning activity is simply to have our students engage with with the local communities, youths, which happens to be organized in what we call the Sangguniang Kabataan. Sangguniang Kabataan happens to be that particular representation for the local youths of a community, of a barangay community. A barangay
Sorry,
community.
Jose, one more minute.
Yes, sure. So the barangay community happens to be engaged, happens to have at least 500 to 1,000 families or households, wherein you have youths that will be engaged in this particular activity. So eventually the output that students will have would be, of course, an application by which it will constantly inform the local community of what to do before, during, and after the damaging flood has been. So this is an example of or a template of what students will actually be developing. So this is an application that is downloadable in their cell phones of the local community, which will be shared by the Sangguniang Kabataan. So the first icon that you see above will be the icon by which they will press on. And after pressing this icon, we'll show you 3 different icons, which is responsible for information that can be provided for the local residents before, during, and after a flood. So in case a household will panic and will eventually forget, that's what we fear of happening during flood seasons. So they can immediately press on this. Any member of the family can do this and eventually follow the steps that are localized over the community itself. So we do have a procedure on how to respond to such incidents or events. However, the difference of this protocol happens to be more localized or tailored fit to the needs of the local community. And our students basically will be delegating most of the work to the Sangguniang Kabataan in order to relay the information and share it to the local community as well. Ms. Vanessa?
Good. Time's up, I guess.
Thank
you. Thank you, Sir Jose.
Thank you, everyone. Sorry.
Thank you very
Very
much
good
for your
project and
presentation.
images, and very good. Just we have a time for one question because we want to share with you some things about the closure time. Cindy.
I'm sorry, my question is not very profound. I was just going to ask, how long is the typhoon season? Is this like all year? Is it only 2 months? I guess I just to measure the impact on the lives of the people.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Cindy, for the question. Ms. Vanessa?
I think how many typhoons per year?
Or just the range of time. So
right,
we
so
have like hurricane season in the
right.
US, which lasts from like August to December. When is the typhoon season?
Ours is from August, right now, not July, August, September, sometimes December.
Okay, thank you.
We usually have 5 to 10 typhoons per year, I think.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for all. We have seen now different types of presentation, different projects. Okay, sorry, Vanessa, do you want to say something?
No, I'm just checking typhoons. I'm thinking of Metro Manila. For Metro Manila, I guess just 2 per year, 1 to 2 per year, but throughout the Philippines, I think it's more than 10.
Okay, thank you very much. Huge project. All of them are, because they are in different stages. Some of them are ideas to start. Some of them are some project you are going on, and so you want to a better description. So very good. We have no more time, so for more projects. No, George, you want to say something?
Thank you, Alejandra. I'm really sad about the fact that we don't have much time, but we really want to share about the rubric of evaluation of service learning projects, and maybe we can, I don't know, we can think about any other strategy to give the participants that haven't presented their project today to do it. But
Okay, this document is available for you in the platform just from today up to the closure. So you will have this. So we just want to show you how is the rubric we use to evaluate the project. Not only this, another project, for example, when we have an award or something like that, we just are looking at these points. You can see here, we just want to show you, not to go in details, because it's so easy. You have shared to us the project, so you can see the presentation, the whole presentation of the project. Okay. It's like how it's planned, how we can show how you define the project. Okay, from 0 to 3, there is a score point, so we just do this. Then, if there is a real and feel need from the community, how is the need, who participate in the diagnosis, if the teacher propose, or the students or the community, and how they link in this defining this need. So then the type of solidarity service, if there is an action or there is a local development process, you can see this is the line you can go through. If something is this, it's okay, but you need to read it and to think about your ideas and how you can put all these ideas in a project. This will be very useful for you.
Yes,
George,
this
okay.
rubric is to evaluate the 3 main features of service learning, but in deep. I mean, we are talking about the participation, the involvement of the students and the community, the link between the service activities and the solidarity service and the learning, and the participation of the community. So as you can see, there is an escalating grade of involvement of the community, of the students, that goes from the point that they are not participating at all, and in the final square of this rubric, we have students and community involved in the project. So this helps you to revisit your projects and any other project that you are working with, or if you are working with professors, teachers that are developing a service learning project, and you want to evaluate the quality of those projects or how they are attending the main features of service learning, you can use this rubric and to try to think if, for example, the level of students' involvement, students have symbolic, informed, or pseudo participation, or they are really involved in the project.
Okay. So the fourth item is the level of student involvement. You can see that it's symbolic, or if they are really going through the process, reflection in the process, implementing the project, you know, all we have been talking today and from the last 2 months. Next is the level of curriculum integration between service and learning. We were talking about that. How do you articulate with the subject they are learning at school, at university, if there is low, medium, high, or so high, very high. Next is the intersectoral linkage between the quality of the connections. Where are the actors? Where are the knowledge of the social actors? How they collaborate, the collaboration coordination. You have to read it. I don't want to use much time for this. The itinerary, we have been working in that. So how do you develop this itinerary? Yes, you know the stages, the different parts of the itinerary. The same as the cross-cutting processes, we have been talking about a lot of this. How do you record? How do you reflect? How do you evaluate? We were talking today about the different stages of evaluation across in the cross process. The instruments you are using for these processes, they are very important, because it's not only to say, yes, I am going to evaluate, but how? How are you going to evaluate the meeting in the community today? You show, Nico show like a form that the students can use when they go to the community, put the photograph, okay, something like that. You have to think about that. And then about the linking with the 21st century competences, how the project focus in these competences. There are a lot of competences, you know, I don't know, they have the document, but you know you can use it. So this is so simple. Just you have this in the platform. Something else, George, you can say from this and the other documents that are in the platform?
No, I think they're very clear, and you have access to these documents on the final section, on the closure, so you can download it. And when you are working on the final project presentation, which is more or less what you have already done on the Drive document, it's all those points, but we make a little difference in the position of the rationale, for example, but it's more or less the same that you have been doing, and that Alejandra and I have been commenting on your documents. So you can use the comments, the feedback you have received from us, and this rubric to give a last reading to your project and present it as a final proposal. If you have any question, you always can contact Alejandra and I. We will be glad to answer your questions.
What do you tell? You told me something, George, about if they want another meeting. What do you think? This is our final meeting, but if you think you need another short one, 1 hour or less, just to...
Yes, just to give the opportunity to Doris, Bertha, Anastasio, and if they have Victoria, if they have been working on their projects and in their presentations, I would like to give them the opportunity to share it as the others do, but we have no more time today. And if you agree, or maybe we can propose it in a forum, we can I don't know, think about another meeting where they can present their projects, and we can talk about the final projects as well.
Yes, just to enrich together. Doris and Nyaju are working, I know them.
Yeah, Berta have been working too on its project. So if you want, we could think about maybe a 1 hour meeting in the next days.
Okay, Michelle say that we can do it in 1 week.
I also agree for another meeting. I hope you don't mind.
Yeah, it'd be nice to give everyone else the opportunity to present.
I have no problem.
Thank
I-
you. Thank you so much.
Anastasia, are you trying to talk or?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
I also suggest another meeting, please.
Yes, but you have to show your project, Anastasio.
We'll be right behind you, Anastasia.
Yes, he's working a
Okay,
lot.
so I
And
think
Doris
that
and Mianju that is working in Africa also now.
Yeah,
Mianju's
we'll try to get the presentation ready next time.
great.
Yes.
Doris.
okay, you
Great.
have the template on the forum. I sent it a few days ago, so you can use that template. It's a brief version of your project. So we will have our another meeting next week if you all agree. Michelle?
Yes.
That would be wonderful because I want to hear what everyone else has to present. And
True.
also, for our final written presentation, we were talking about the 30th being the due date. Are we able to get an extension till Monday, maybe of next week? Is that possible? Because I'm teaching every day this week.
Good suggestion.
I'm begging.
Thank you.
I don't remember which is the final day, George. The
deadline for the final project
Yes, the
presentation,
deadline.
it's July 5th.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Excellent. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you.
That's good. And how long do we have access to that platform for with all those so many resources in there? I haven't even had time to look at them all. How long are we able to access the portal?
Maybe for 2 more weeks.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
So the final
Thank you.
presentation, it's due to July the 5th, but you will have access to the
So the
platform
next
maybe for
our
1 week more than that.
Okay,
So you
middle
can
of
download
July.
all the material and
Yeah. Yep,
that
that's a
you
lot of
want.
material.
Yes, you have a lot of in the toolbox and the virtual library. You have a lot of material that you can download. And
Right,
so,
thank you.
if you all agree, we will meet again next Wednesday.
So the next meeting will be on Wednesday, July 5th.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's okay.
That's
Yes.
the date for the presentation, the deadline for the final presentation, and the date for our next meeting.
Okay.
At the same time? At the same time?
Okay, we will talk
The same date.
together with George about that.
Okay.
And if anything we decide, we're going to share with you in an email. Okay, the next
Okay.
meeting for all of you. And if we want to move this yeah, because I don't think this is a good choice to do both the meeting and the final presentation. I think we have to move it, George, to give them some more days because they are going to present next week, probably in the discussion and in the interchange, they can get some ideas. So we are talking together and decided for you, okay?
So, but be relaxed that it won't be before July the 5th. So if you're still working on your final projects, we can give you more days, not less than a week.
Yes. Okay, great presentation for all. And okay.
Thank you.
We are going to meet again next week. So bye-bye.
Good night.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye.
Thank you
See
very
you next
much.
week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Already
Bye.
missing you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bueno,
Para de grabar.